another video. It is officially race weekend, which I am very, very excited for. The race is 70.3 Cairns, in case you couldn't tell by the title of this video. But I am headed now over to the Ironman village just to check in. And then today on the schedule, I'm not gonna swim because I swam in the wetsuit, which my arm and shoulder are actually quite aggravated today. And so I wanna let that settle down before I race. So we are not swimming. Instead, I may do a little bit of a 5K kind of easy jog, and then tomorrow another ride with some 30-30s just to get the legs firing. And then the rest of the day I have actually quite a bit of work to do just with the whole accident situation, and so I'm gonna hang out at a cafe, eat some food, start increasing the carbs today for the race weekend. I'm going to dinner tonight at the Wknd of North Queensland, which I'm actually very excited for. I messaged the rabbi last week just because I needed some help with some things. So I will see you over at the Ironman village.
So this is going to take coming out of the troop boys. We've got the Ironman deck chairs out, the sun's out. Get off those feet, have a bit of a break and get ready for an awesome weekend. Cairns Airport, Ironman Cairns, Sunday morning, along with Ironman 70. Keep walking through.
Okay, so the stickers are on the bike. I have to leave for dinner in about 10 minutes, but let me just show you what it looks like. So here, for I guess Oceania events, they only have the sticker on the back of the bike. There's no sticker like on the top or anything. So we've just got the one there. And then I was a bit confused on how to put the gear bag stickers on because you have to like loop them through. So we are going to do that tomorrow at transition, and I'll just ask someone for help because I don't want to do it wrong and then they end up losing my stuff. So tomorrow we'll pack the gear bag or the run gear bag. We'll find out how to put the stickers for the bike, and then we'll check everything in and then relax for race day. But yeah, I'm off to dinner and then bed. Good morning. So it is Saturday morning, the day before the race. I am just getting ready to go get some breakfast, or second breakfast, which is probably going to be pancakes or waffles or something like that. And then I have to drop the bike over at Palm Cove where the swim exit is, and then I have to drop the run at T2 in Cairns. But I thought I'd show you what the run bike gear bag looks like. So obviously we have the SL7, the trusty bike, and then so I've got bike shoes, my computer, helmet, and glasses. I'm not doing an aero helmet because I'm doing so much training in this trip and I'm only racing twice, and I'm not training with an aero helmet, and I'm not bringing two helmets with me. Two of the Morton 160s, which are 40 grams each, and then I am bringing two bottles on the bike, a 950 and a 750, and then each bottle is going to be 100 grams of my own carb mix and then 400 of electrolytes. And then we've got the shoes. This is bike. I did the precision testing yesterday, the electrolyte sweat test. We found out that I only lose about 650 milligrams of sodium per hour, and in my past 70.3s I've been taking minimum 1200 milligrams of sodium in 750 bottles. I've also never had a race that on the bike my stomach hasn't like really locked up. It was obviously because I was taking over double the concentration of sodium that I needed. So hopefully this race will kind of relax on that. We're doing 450 per bottle, and so hopefully we won't have any stomach issues, and then there'll be 200 grams of carbs in the bottles total. But just in case for some reason I can't finish all the bottles or I can't get through them all, I do have the 80 grams of carbs as gels just in case, and then I won't have to stop at any of the aid stations. And then we have the run bag. We've got our race belt, which I just use a shoelace because I don't like the feeling of the race belts like constricting my stomach. And I eat a lot on the run. I eat about a gel every aid station, or at least 3/4 of the gel every aid station. And so my stomach, I feel like, needs room to expand, and I just don't like it constricting breathing. So I just use a shoelace. And then we've got the compressed sport socks that I picked up yesterday. I've got a 90-gram flow gel that I'll sip on like between aid stations or if I get tired of Morton. And then I'm going to bring a soft flask with me that's going to have 400 milligrams of sodium just to help wash anything down while I'm running. We've got the race shoes, which are the Gen 2 Nike Alpha Flies. I take the laces out of them and I actually use those laces in the race belt. And then we have the watch because I don't run well off of feel. And then I have some sunglasses, the Oakleys that I used in Patagon Man. So this is the run bag. And then the swim will just be morning clothes, swim cap, timing chip, goggles, which I have to remember the goggles because they're in my backpack downstairs. So yeah, haven't decided on which hat I'm gonna wear. I either have, these are the options actually. I have this green Hoka run hat, or we've got this blue Passenger Princess. I'm kind of leaning towards this one, but we'll see what shakes out. So we will see you at T1 and T2. I just stopped at a place called Caffeine for some food, like some carbs breakfast, to get this French toast, which I don't understand this country's obsession with ice cream. Like, they put it on waffles, they put it on pancakes, they put it on French toast, and I'm like, guys, that's not a breakfast food. Like, I said to the lady, I was like, can I get it without the ice cream because it's 11 a.m. And she was like, no, it has to come on, like, no substitutions. And I was like, bruh. We are on the way to drop the run gear bag just over T2 at the Esplanade. Should be fairly easy. I do want to buy a soft flask just so that I can carry the electrolytes on the run with me just in case. And so I'll do that when I'm in the village as well. So we're headed there now to check everything.
Hello, Sue Miles. Sue Miles. I found a bike for that.
Because it's gonna rain, they give us those plastic bags to put over like shoes or anything you don't want to get wet, which I've done because my socks are in T2, and the whole point of having socks in T2 is so that they're not wet. So I just put everything in the plastic bag because I figure it's easier than like having half the stuff in the red bag, half the stuff in the white bag, trying to rifle through. So everything is in here, and I'll just open this. It's tied on, so all you have to do is just pull the one cord. Pull the one cord and then it'll fall. I am in Palm Cove. I'm just gonna do a small little ride just to make sure that everything is good on the bike in terms of mechanics and things like that. Oh, nothing crazy. Just a quick little spin to see what's shaking. Got the number on, and then yeah, it'll probably be 10-ish minutes just to spin around, see what's good, make sure everything works, and then we'll check this puppy in. Bike is warmed up, I guess. Everything looks good. It shifts well. It brakes well. Yeah, so I am gonna go check it now at T2. It'll be there overnight, and then I will drop the bike stuff off tomorrow when I go into transition. I'm in the front. Okay, these are the current swim conditions. That's crazy. So we start over here by that first orange buoy, then you swim down the beach 400 meters, and then the red buoy's in the back. That's like 800 meters all the way into there, and then we finish over here. I hope this is shortened or canceled, because what the hell? I'm gonna drown. Good morning. It is race morning, yay. I've just eaten breakfast, finished packing the rest of my stuff. I'm heading over to Cairns now just to pick up the shuttle that will take us over to Palm Cove and T1, and then we'll be racing. Feeling pretty good this morning. I have a Whoop and I don't look at the recovery score the morning of the race just because first of all, it doesn't matter, and then I also just don't want that to like influence me in any way or influence how I think I feel. And so yeah, we're off now and hopefully it'll be a good day. So obviously we are no longer racing. We're about a week out. I'm actually in Vietnam right now doing a bit of a 4-day holiday before I head over to Andorra for a 2-week camp, and then I'm going to be racing again at 70.3 Versailles. But this is just going to be a quick post-race recap for 70.3 Cairns. I'll throw up some photos from the race, just from the swim, bike, run, and then finish. So the morning went smoothly, shuttle went smoothly, everything was good. Pumped up the tires in T1 in the morning. Pre-swim, which is new for me, I took a 40-gram gel, which I definitely think helped. And then I seeded myself to be in the fastest swim group because I usually am. And that was 33 and under because of how my shoulder felt and how painful it was. I kind of knew I wasn't going to be swimming a 33 or under. I actually went in the second group, which was 33 to 37. So the gun went off. The conditions were pretty brutal. It was very similar to what it looked like when I checked the bike on Saturday. Some of the times when the waves were knocking you, it was actually quite disorienting. But the whole swim, I kept telling myself, like, I just want to make the cutoff, and then like 50 minutes and under, I'll be elated. And even during the swim, I felt like it was a very hard swim. I pretty much burned all my matches in the swim too, just because my shoulder was hurting quite a lot, and so was my bicep. And I kind of was just scared I wasn't going to make the cutoff. So finally came out of the swim, I looked down and I saw 33 minutes, and let me tell you, I was shocked, number one, and I was so happy. And I thought to myself, okay, like, this is going to be a good day. That's best case scenario, right? No matter how hard the rest of the day may be, like, I swam 33 minutes with a destroyed shoulder. Like, I was thrilled. It was a slower T1. I kind of messed up. They had a bike gear bag, and you had to put your swim stuff in the bag, and then on the way out, you had to bring the bag with you and drop it in this bin, and I forgot my bag. So I had to go back with the bike, grab it, come back. And then the bike was quite brutal, actually. So once you hit the turnaround at like 20-ish miles, you go straight back down south, and the wind was blowing north. So you had a headwind for like the 45 miles left of the bike, which was absolutely brutal. You kind of have to stay in TT the whole time. Otherwise, you're going to be losing a lot of speed. I got through about a bottle and a half, which was about 150 grams of carbs. It's fine. I wish I would have taken more because that came back to bite me on the run. But I burned a lot of matches on the swim. And so I kind of biked to the best of my ability. But I noticed that I was dropping a lot of people. And like, I think I got dropped by maybe 3 or 4 men. but I didn't get dropped by any women. I was just passing everyone, which also was difficult because I didn't have anyone to work with on the back half to kind of like not draft, but draft through the wind. And so that definitely, by the time there was like 20k left of the bike, I was like, get me out of this. I was kind of done with everything. I normalized 211 watts, which is actually quite a bit for me. It's around 4 watts per kilo, which I'm really happy with. But considering how much power I pushed, I didn't go very fast. And I think overall it was a slow bike day anyway, because I took the fastest bike split of my age group by at least 10 minutes. And like, it was a horrible bike split. I think it was like 240 something. Which for me is like atrocious, and for almost 4 watts per kilo, that's not very fast. And then I hit the run. I was aiming to average around between 430 and 440 per K because I didn't eat that much on the bike compared to what I should have. It was just a grind, and I'm someone that eats a lot on the run. I usually eat about a gel every aid station. I had a 90-gram flow gel with me from Precision just in case, or just to like hold me over between aid stations. And I pretty much downed the whole thing within the first 2K. I think I averaged like 450 per K, which again, I'll take. I can't be mad at that. My biggest critique was at the aid stations, they had people handing out water and Coke and Precision, but they didn't have people handing out gels, which means that if you wanted to get one, you had to kind of like run into the tables, grab one off the table, and then keep going, which I know that's like a very small thing to complain about, but having to almost stop every single aid station and pick stuff up and then start running again kind of wears on you, and it makes it really easy to just breeze right through and not grab anything, which definitely happened quite a few times. And so I was under-carbed on the run significantly. By the last 5K, I was kind of like, just get this over with. I felt quite flat, and I think it was just from not having enough carbs. And the swim was hard, and so I think that just caught up to me. And I mean, everyone says that you can't win an Ironman or a 70.3 in the swim, but you can certainly lose it. And it's not that I lost it, but like I definitely feel that's true. I think my overall time was just over 5, which is nothing to write home about. But the good news is that I did win my age group, which I was really happy with. Yeah, I can't be mad. It was a great day. I had no expectations going in. I didn't even think I was going to be able to make the swim cutoff, and so I was really surprised by that. I haven't swam since last Sunday, just to give the shoulder a break because it was very, very painful afterwards, and it's still a bit aggravated. I will say I did get that 70.3 world slot to Nice. I did not take it just because I'm starting school in August, and I thought it would be a little bit unrealistic to go to France in the middle of my first semester of medical school. But I'm really excited because next year it's going to be in Chatty, and so we're definitely going to go for a slot for that race. So yeah, that's the post-race recap for 70.3 Cairns. I'm honestly thrilled with how I did based off of how I felt and no expectations going in, and just kind of seeing what I had in the tank. I had a good day compared to everyone. Hopefully the splits at Versailles will be a little bit faster. I mean, I don't know about the swim because this is kind of like a long-term injury that I'm going to have to deal with, but hopefully the power and the speed match up a little bit better, and then hopefully I feel a little bit stronger on the run and I'm able to kind of push it a little bit more. But yeah, I'm very excited, and Cairns was great. I had a great time, and I will see you next in probably a Vietnam training day in the life video. So yeah, we'll see you then.